Welcome to Merging Hearts TV. This is from Merging Hearts Spiritual Center. On Sunday mornings, we have what's called our Enlightened Beings presentation. So this is a recorded version of that. So I'd like to begin off with the Merging Hearts Spiritual Center's mission and vision statement. Merging Hearts Spiritual Center is a welcoming community. We offer opportunities to enrich the mind, to nurture the body, and awaken the spirit. Merging Hearts Spiritual Center exists to help people discover, nurture, and expand their own sacred uniqueness, and to connect them with resources to help them to do that. We do this by providing an open venue for spiritual exploration and discussion, educational opportunities, community spiritual practices, and connections to various resources such as books, movies, speakers, healers, and other spiritual circles. If you'd like to donate to Merging Hearts, they are a nonprofit 501c3 organization. So you can go to our website, just go to merginghearts.org, donate. You can select options, one individual donation, or you can donate on a monthly basis and have that automatically deducted if you want to be a sustaining member and appreciate what it is that we do.
Hi there, welcome to our presentation. This is Carrie Ehrhardt, and joining me is Shelly Valinttine.
Hello.
Hi. So we're going to have just a little bit of a conversation about what's happening in the world and what we can look forward to going from here. Just a little bit of an introduction about me. I am a former board member of Merging Hearts, and I've done some work in shamanistic arts. I'm currently have a business called Chrysalis Wellness that I run out of my home here in New York, living in Warsaw, New York at the moment. And in that I do intuitive healings and spirit circles and all kinds of things here. And Shelly?
Hi, I'm Shelly Valinttine. I am a former board member twice or three times over with Merging Hearts, current member, and I am a transformational life coach with a background in clinical hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, and a whole list of letters that I won't bore you with. I am also a practicing shaman and utilizing the healing arts, mostly in psychological, emotional healing, which then translate into physical healing. So we're here to assist in that today. Carrie, back to you.
Thank you. Recently, over the last week, Shelly sent me a message via text, and that message sort of spurned into this series of messages that I was receiving from Spirit that we needed to together do this presentation for you. And the timing of it is very intentional as well. Not anything that we've decided. Spirit has completely guided this. But basically right now, we are in what's called a portal. It's the conjunction of Pluto and Jupiter and Capricorn, and that portal is actually happening between the 4th and the 5th. It just happened overnight last night while you're watching this, so on the 4th at about 10:45 our time here in New York. And that portal, what it's focusing on are major transitions in the world. So we're transitioning from one state of living as humanity into the next state. That's why this massive thing is happening in our world that we're going to explain a little bit about during this program. And we're going to talk about what's coming up next. But the big thing about this is this transition is about our own personal ethics and changing the way we see the world and what we have to give to it. And it's going from a me state of being to a we state of being. So we're starting to go into a unity consciousness. Some of us have gone through awakenings up to this point, and those of us are working as bridge layers to help transition others who will be going through this awakening now and have been for the last few days. One of the important parts of this virus is that it's causing these high fevers that are causing people to have what we call shamanic deaths, or fever-induced states of awakening or awareness that they're going into. And with this happening on a mass scale in the world, we're going to see this awakening happen to the nth degree. And really what is happening is we're pushing for 20% of the population at this point to become in this awakened state. So that's why there's such big numbers. That's why we had to have this happen all at once, and why this, what is being seen as a massive dark night of the soul, basically, is a transition for us in that way. Before we go further in that, there's a message that I would like to read at the beginning. And this is one of the many messages that I've received over the last couple of days that really speaks to what this portal is about. And this is from White Eagle, who is a Hopi indigenous leader. And he gave this message on the 16th of March, right in the middle of this pandemic. And the message is, this moment humanity is going through can now be seen as a portal or as a hole. The decision to fall into the hole or go through the portal is up to you. If you repent of your problem and consume the news 24 hours a day with little energy, and you're nervous all the time, and you have pessimism, then you'll fall into the hole. But if you take the opportunity to now look at yourself, rethink life and death, take care of yourself and others, then you'll cross through the portal. At this time, what you need to do is take care of your home, take care of your body, connect with the middle body of your spiritual house, connect to the egregor of your spiritual home. Body, house, medium body, spiritual house, all of this is synonymous. And that is to say, it's all the same. When we're taking care of one, you are taking care of everything else. So if you're taking care of just your family, you're taking care of the entire world. Do not lose the spiritual dimension of this crisis. Have the aspect of the eagle, flying high from above. You can see the whole and see more widely. There is a social demand in this crisis, but there is also a spiritual demand. The two go hand in hand. Without the social dimension, we fall into fanaticism. But without the spiritual dimension, we fall into pessimism and lack of meaning. You are prepared to go through this crisis. Take your toolbox and use all of the tools at your disposal. Learn about resistance with the indigenous and African people. We have always been and continue to be exterminated, but we still haven't stopped singing, dancing, lighting a fire, and having fun. Don't feel guilty about being happy during this time. You don't help at all by being sad and without energy. If it helps, good things emanate from the universe now. It's through joy that one resists. Also, when the storm passes, you will be very important in the reconstruction of the new world, which is what we're going to be talking about mostly. You need to be well and strong, and for that, there is no other way than to maintain a beautiful, happy, and bright vibration. This is all done. This has nothing at all to do with alienation. This is a resistance strategy. In shamanism, there is a rite of passage called the quest for vision. You spend several days alone in the forest without water, without food, without protection. And when you go through this portal, you get a new vision of the world. You've faced your fears and your difficulties. That is what is asked of you at this time. Let us take advantage of this time to perform your vision-seeking rituals. What does the world want you to build for yourself? For now, this is what you can do. Serenity in the storm. Calm down and pray. Every day, establish a routine to meet the sacred every day, and good things will emanate. Sing, dance, and resist through art, joy, faith, and love.
May I add something?
Yes, please.
What got missed in there is meditation. So just to clarify, prayer is you asking. Meditation is getting still in the quiet for you to receive the answers. So that is, to me, very essential, because we have been taught to pray, pray, pray. We haven't always been taught to get still and listen, because usually the voice is a whisper. Every once in a while it'll be a gong, but for the most part, it is a whisper. So I wanted to throw that in there into the mix.
Very true. One other thing that we want to mention is that right now there's this process of destruction that's happening in the world. You'll see the systems die. You're going, this disease is causing a destruction within the world, but that's all part of the creation process. Today, what we're going to talk about is not necessarily the destruction part of it, but we do recognize that as being sacred and cleansing. This date of April 4th into the 5th is the Mayan astrological sign of Kuak, which is the storm. It's for cleansing. If you think of a storm, that's what it does. Shelly, did you have something that you wanted to talk about with that?
Yes, I do. So I want to take this to a personal level. So yes, we're seeing the destruction of what's going on in our outer world. But what this time for us has being called is for us to go within. Obviously, we're being called inside, stay at home. So let's take it a step further and let's go within. So I'm going to read you something that came through for me. Allow the feelings that you are feeling to rise up. Acknowledge any fears. I want you to write them all down. And if you feel comfortable, share them with somebody that you absolutely feel safe with. When that happens, you're bringing that to light. And when it's expressed, boom, you brought the darkness, the shadows to the light, and they can be let go of. You've acknowledged them. They don't have the same power they had when you're suppressing them and holding them in. A lot of our past issues are coming to the surface, and myself personally, I've had a lot of them being worked out in dream time. So if you're noticing some of your dreams that maybe ancestors are coming through or people of your past, just allow, or you could even ask before you go to bed, like how to have this removed, have this cleansed, have this work through in your dreams. That's another way this can happen. What all this is when this rises to the surface, these are things that no longer serve you. Our emotions get connected to past memories, and those memories are long gone. They're way back there, and they don't serve us anymore, but the emotions are still attached to it, which is why it's really important to bring that up, acknowledge it, and then release it, because it doesn't exist anymore. The memory is gone. We're in the here and now, and you want to move forward. Why do we want to do this? Because what's happening is you're creating a clearer channel. You're allowing God, Creator, the universe, however you express that, to come through you in a clearer state that gives you more information within yourself. There's more knowledge and wisdom inside you than you could ever imagine. Some people may be hearing this kind of message for the first time. The divine spark is within us, each one of us. And it's time for us to rise up and step into that power, that divine power we have within us. Carrie?
That's right. Actually, this time that we're stepping into is the age of Aquarius, which many of you have heard the song, whether you understand or know that to be an actual time period. It is, and it's recognized within just about every faith and religion, every belief system that we're coming into a golden age. A change is happening. And what the age of Aquarius means is that there will be a balancing of the masculine and feminine energies. If you understand masculine and feminine, we see them as male and female, but there's a lot more to it than that. Feminine energy is dark, it's receiving, and sometimes it's associated with the moon, and masculine energy is associated with the sun. It's about light, it's about giving. This is becoming a balance of that. For a very long period, we have been ruled by a masculine energy. It's something that you notice, it's become almost an imbalance. There's a lot more violence in the world, and when this masculine and feminine energy is out of balance in that way, things become in a state of being that is not it's not productive any longer. And that's why we're moving into this balanced recognition of ourselves internally, and then the world on the outside as well. So you'll begin to notice things are changing. And so that what Shelly was talking about fears and bringing them to the light, acknowledging and understanding them as love, we're moving into an age and an understanding of unity instead of being divisive or polarity. There's good and there's bad, there's dark and there's light. We see it all instead as helpful. Our shadows, our darkness, our nightmares, our fears are helpful to us. They show us what needs to be brought into the light, what needs to be healed, what needs to be understood. So when we bring that to the surface and allow it to be cleansed as what's happening now, then we can move forward into a different state. We can understand then that really everything is love. Everything is, a unified force. Everything is one energy. And, that fear is really just an illusion. That even to the point, we look at our systems, like our government system or our school system or money, it's all an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need it any longer. We really just need each other. We need to take care of each other. And that's what we're learning through this dark night, through this cleansing process that we're going through right now. We're coming back into that balance, and we need this. We needed this. We really did. We've been asking for it. And yes, we are afraid of the death aspect of it. And everywhere you look, there's fear, and so many different, fear of suffering, fear of death, fear of everything. And it's being brought to light for us. And so with us moving through this, we're looking to change our perspective about it in some ways so that we can gain from it, and we can create this new world. Right, Shel?
You betcha. So the first couple of weeks, people are freaking out. What's going on? We're becoming adaptive to the unknown. So in that, while we're clearing out the fears, what comes next is focusing our intention and what we want to create. So the key word here is focus, because if you're focusing on all the crap going on through the news right now, it's going to take you down a dark hole, like was mentioned at what Carrie talked about from the reading earlier. So instead of going down the dark hole, let's go through the portal. Let's see what's coming out the other side of this. So collectively, when we can hold the intention of a world opposite of what we've experienced, where we're looking at collaboration, cooperation, compassion, understanding. It's not to say that that hasn't been occurring, but we still don't see that in the big picture, or we haven't in the past. So let's look at that as our new way of being. That these are the elements that love, the force of love, is going to drive us toward. So when you can clear yourself from the fears and all the other negative emotions that you've had, even if you haven't cleared it, if you can still focus on these aspects of how you want your world to look, it's a game changer. The focus is the key, but it has to start within you. Are you cooperating with yourself? Are you constantly having inner battles and dilemmas? That's where you have to reconcile these things within yourself. The world within is just what you're seeing projected outward is your world within. We've been doing that collectively. So let's switch it up. Let's make our world within peaceful, harmonious, loving. I mean, I can tell you my journey to self-love, I'm excited. I just got my book.
Yay!
Yesterday. I wrote a book, and it'll be released very soon, hopefully by this weekend. And it's a journey that I took in a particular relationship that, when it ended, showed me how that aspect of loving myself and the beloved within, that inner being within, is how we project everything out in the world. It's what we see. And so I want to talk about that golden rule, love your neighbor as thyself. It's written in holy texts around the planet. But how can we love our neighbor if we're not loving ourselves? Anytime you hate your neighbor, you are literally hating an aspect of yourself. So when we quote unquote throw stones and cast those stones, that's a good time to look within yourself and say, hey, what is it I don't like about that? What I'm seeing out there? Because it's literally happening or has happened within inside yourself. And when you can reconcile that and forgive that aspect of yourself, then you can move forward. It's very liberating. Carrie, you want to add to that?
Yes, I completely agree with that. That's exactly it. You know, we used to teach at camp counselors that if you have a finger pointing at somebody, well, think about there's three pointing back at yourself. If you're pointing outwards towards somebody else and blaming them for whatever it is, then there are aspects of that you see within that need to be healed, not fought, healed. So the understanding, to take it a little bit further, is that a lot of us are wanting to fight what is coming at us right now. We want to fight the fear. We want to fight this virus. We want to fight this. We want to fight the system that's holding us down. And when we're doing that, we're really just fighting those aspects within ourselves that we aren't accepting of. We're not ready to let go, surrender to that idea. And we're really holding on to a lot of things like shame and guilt and fear and these, emotions that aren't really serving us any longer. So when we're ready to let go of those things, surrender to them, bring those fears, that shame, that guilt, bring it all into the light to show, to show ourselves that it's okay to be these things. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be whatever it is that you are. You're loving yourself, then you're learning to love yourself. And then it is becoming not a polarity state. We're not looking at it as bad and good any longer. You're looking at it as all lessons to help us grow further into love, further into that unified field, further into that unity consciousness that's meant to bring us all back together. And this is the important road that we're taking towards this peaceful union of life that we all want. Everyone wants it. We all want it, but we are so very, at the moment, so very insistent to blame the other and not necessarily look inside for our own, responsibility in it. And yes, maybe we don't feel as if we have responsibility in what is happening around us, but there are things that we do find in it that we can take responsibility for and look within ourselves to, heal it, to let go, to surrender to that. It's very important.
Well, and I want to talk about blame, because blame is the fastest way to give your power away. And guess what, folks? Honestly, how we've participated as a collective is we've given our power away so often. And when we can just own that and step back into it, it's a game changer. It really shifts how you perceive the world. I know for some people, there's going to be varying levels of consciousness, people watching this, and some may be a little confused in some of the things we're saying, but trusting, like what Carrie was saying, when instead of the resistance in a fight, I'll give you an example. Mother Teresa is one of my role models. And over, people asked her to join the fight for poverty, you know, a rally to fight drugs and human trafficking, etc. And she declined every single time. And finally, somebody asked her the question, why don't you join these fights, you know, to help us, you know, with this movement? And she said, when you hold a peace rally, you invite me. She understood focus and intention, because when you focus on fighting, you get more fighting. It's time to stop. It's time to stop resisting. So when Carrie was talking about the surrender, we're actually surrendering to the divine and allowing what needs to take place. But the more you do that within yourself, the more harmonious you become, the more you recognize that divine spark within yourself. And that's the point we're trying to make. Like, people haven't really hooked up with the idea that God lives within them. God lives within all of us. That is how we come together in that unified oneness. We are a global family. It's time to come together and stop tearing ourselves apart. Carrie?
Oh, you're giving me chills all over the place, girl. That's awesome. Yes, it's exactly true. And the thing about it is that whatever you focus on, you get more of. So if your focus is on fighting that which you don't want, then you're going to get more of that which you don't want. And so why not shift your focus? So let's talk about that for a minute. So, you know, if what we want is more of something, then let's shift our focus to gratitude. Start to find every day, every single moment, things that you can be thankful for. And believe it or not, when you do that, you get more of the things that you're thankful for every single time. It happens every single time. So the more that you're thankful for things, the more you focus on that light, that, you know, gratitude, the more that you bring that into our existence as a whole, it's our new earth. This is bringing heaven to earth. This is how we do it.
Yes.
We focus on that which we want, that what we love, which we love. So for instance, you know, I sat in a circle here in this is our studio here, the girls, this room that I'm in. And so we share it. Actually, my mom uses it as a sewing studio. I use it for healing arts, and the girls use it for art sometimes. But so we had a little circle here on the new moon, and what we talked about for the entire circle with my girls and my mom was the things that we are thankful for in this situation that we're going into, that we're in right now. And we talked about, of course, you know, all of the people that are really working very hard right now to serve us and to make sure that we stay healthy. And we also talked about the idea that, you know, we're closer together. I've watched my girls giggle and laugh and cuddle with each other more than I've ever seen. And we're spending that time together that we always talk about, that we need to spend, you know, that quality time. I always talk about how much quality time I want to spend with my girls, but now I have to. I don't have another choice, and that I'm so thankful for. There's so many things. I mean, if you just sit with a list of things that you're thankful for right now, whether it's the things that this, you know, this thing that's happening to all of us, whether it's that or not, whether it's just your life in general, start to focus on those things, that gratitude, and see how it changes your life. Even if you write down 3 things in your journal every day of what you're thankful for, just watch how it makes your whole life and your outlook on everything turn around, and how you get more of what you're looking for.
And also, this has been a shift in our priorities. I mean, when we're stay at home, it's like Carrie said, the time that you always wanted is now available for you. You have the opportunities. I mean, I noticed my daughter picked up a guitar, and I was so excited. And just these little things, it's the simple little things that bring you joy, like what was spoken about in that writing from, what was it? I'm sorry, the guy's name, I forget his name.
Are you talking about White Eagle?
White Eagle, thank you. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to mess it up. But he talked about sing, dance, be happy. When we are in that state, you are in the state of love. When you are in that state of love, that's how we create. Creation is birthed from love. And so find the things that bring you joy. Maybe it's a funny movie. A couple hours ago, I cranked up the tunes and I moved all the furniture out of the way and I was dancing. It's a bright sunny day, which we don't always get here in Ohio. So I was taking advantage of it and just went for a walk, and then I was dancing. What is it that you love? I mean, maybe you've forgotten some of that. Well, go discover that. The more you clear this fear stuff out, the more your active creativity starts to come to light. That was my personal experience. And another thing I want to talk about in this focus intention is expect the best. Expect it. When we expect good things, they come as well. There's a whole magic to what's going on with the art of the law of attraction and the art of allowing. I'm telling you, it's like the heavens say, okay, that's what they want. But it really, your attitude makes all the difference, all the difference. So if you're in that state of fear, you're going to perpetuate more fear, which is why we're saying, okay, acknowledge those fears, bring them up, let them out, and then get back into that joy place. Because honestly, that's where you want to be anyway. What do we want as a collective? We want to be happy, we want peace, and we want abundance, and we want it for everybody. It's a we thing.
And we
Carrie?
are creating that. Yeah, we're creating that right now. It's what we're working towards. This is what we're doing. I mean, you know, when Shelly was talking about dancing, I have wanted to turn my backyard into a food forest for a long time now, but haven't done it, you know, haven't worked at it, haven't started seeds, haven't plowed the earth the way that I want to, you know, to make myself a little bit more self-sustaining, like allowing, you know, my community to be the focus, my family to be the focus, and you know, providing for them from the abundance of my own garden, and you know, sharing with everyone, the exchange back and forth. One of the neat things that I absolutely love is that somehow I got gifted with this beautiful miracle of being able to move here to Warsaw, New York. And at first I was not happy, but now I understand why I'm here. This community that I live in, we look out for each other like you wouldn't believe. A friend of mine bakes bread for, you know, everyone, and make sure that they have what they need. Another friend has been starting seeds. She has strawberry plants that she's trying to pass out to her neighbors. Other friends have maple sugar plants, and so on and so forth. And everybody's making sure that everyone else has what they need. You know, I spent a couple of weeks, I work for the YMCA, and I spent a couple of days last week just calling all of the seniors in our little village to make sure that they had what they needed and that they were okay and all set. These are the things that we're focusing on now. You think about that gift of being able to come back to community, and we're creating the world that we want. And the more that I'm thankful for it, the more that I see that it's being created all around me every single day. So that focus, you know, that creation of a new earth is really what we're doing. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So when you were talking, what was coming, you know, in was when we start with ourselves and we get right with ourselves, we line up with our divine source, that ripples out into our family life, like your circle that you talked about with your girls and your mom. And then that ripples out into your neighborhood, your smaller community. And then as those circles intersect, the hoops, as the Native Americans would put it, all those hoops start to intersect, and they create that image that's posted on Facebook, what we call the flower of life. It's circles intertwined with circles, and that creates the global picture. So it has to start at home with me and with you, because peace begins with me. The change begins with me. The change begins with you. So it has to start with us. We need to clear our channels. We need to let go and release judgments, beliefs, and allow for respect, collaboration, cooperation, love, compassion, etc. So when that happens, it ripples out and all these hoops ripple out. It's very simple. We tend to complicate it, but we were in a culture that created complication. And I think we're now moving to a new earth that's going to simplify things.
Right. And what you're talking about, those sacred hoops, we've heard many times over the light grid that surrounds the entire earth. That is the sacred hoops, creating a flower of life that is overlaid over all of us. And an image that I had quite a while ago is that grid, that that forming of this net kind of say around us is straining out all that we don't want anymore and just leaving the light there. And that's what we're going through right now. It's a process, and it's not going to feel good to go through the strainer, basically, but we're becoming alchemized. We're becoming light, our light bodies, and we're clearing out all that doesn't serve us, all that crap, and becoming more purified, and allowing ourselves to step into that light, that divine light that, we all, each of us are. And that forms that light grid. And believe it or not, this has been prophesized by just about every native tribe that is out there in one way or another. And one thing that gives me the chills like nobody's business is those sacred hoops connect with the sacred hoops of our indigenous people from all over the world. So that makes us connected in spirit and in soul with the Dogon people in Africa, the Hopi people in Arizona, the Maori down in New Zealand. We're connected now, and it's by spirit, and that's pretty amazing.
Well, we always have been. We just forgot.
That's right.
I mean, and these prophecies are in every religion. I mean, it's coming forth all at the same time. People are hearing the messages in different ways. One thing, a client reached out to me, and she had been doing really well since a breakthrough session we had. And she says, I am reverting back to my old ways. Well, her business was shut down. And I said, here's what I want to offer you. Give yourself some grace. What happens is when we go into an immediate shift, we tend to go back to what's really comfortable and known for us. So take a moment. She's like, oh my gosh, I was eating carbs. I'm like, yeah, well, so was I. But you know what? You're not going to do it forever. Give yourself a moment. You'll readjust. You'll realign. So I also want to offer, give yourself grace through this time. But once you hit that level of acceptance, it's kind of like we were in a bit of a shock, and now we have this threshold, and we hit that level of acceptance. Now you can find your new normal in what your space you're dwelling in now. Go back to those healthier habits. Maybe now's the time to go into even healthier habits. Intermittent fasting is a really easy, great way to do that. Just don't eat till noon. That will help with clearing your body, helping to detoxify, eat more vegetables, shift into things that are going to be better for you. Carrie?
Yep, exactly. I love what you said about, this being a process. Really give yourself grace in that. I mean, it is a process. It's not going to happen all at once. It's not going to feel great while you're going through, like I said, through the strainer. Some days you'll take one step forward and 2 steps back. Some days you'll take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But, the point of the matter is that you're changing. We are all evolving. Whether we understand or believe that or not, we are hit the most amazing time in human history. We can actually literally see the evolution of humanity happening. And, where our DNA is even changing. We are becoming a new race of beings. And in that change, we're becoming more connected, more spiritual. So these changes that you're going through aren't just aren't just on a spiritual level. It's physical, it's emotional, it's across the board. So if you think about it from that perspective, going through that process is a tough thing that is happening to you, the entirety of you. So yeah, give yourself plenty of time and space and grace, and connect with friends. And if you feel like it, give yourself alone time if that's what you feel like. Your body knows exactly what it needs in every instance. Begin to trust yourself. That is like maybe one of the most important things, is begin to trust that you know, and you always have. It's deep inside of you. You don't need information from others necessarily. You know, sometimes they're going to help you through things. When you need a hand, go out and get one. Like, I had a freak out session this morning, and Shelly helped walk me through it. So, you know, you're going to need that every once in a while, but also that is teaching you to go within. And every time that I reach out to Shelly, she points me back inside myself, because she knows the answers in there. That's the way it's going to be going forward. There's going to be times when you question it and doubt it for certain, but the point of all of this is pointing us back inside to us.
And Carrie does the same thing for me. So I had a thought. What was it? Nature. Okay, some people don't have that opportunity at this juncture to get out in nature. Where I live, I'm 2 minutes from a towpath, and it's so wonderful to see people out there. It's time to reconnect to our roots. Look, folks, this earth has supported us with all her abundance. And because of our societal culture and getting so wrapped up in work and all the activities outside of work, we have disconnected ourselves from our true nature, which is nature. So get outside, plant your feet in the ground, just go hang out by a tree. You don't have to hug it, but just go hang out by a tree. For myself, whenever I'm in a place that I really need solace, if the weather's good enough, I will lay a blanket on the ground and put one over me, and I will lay on the earth. And I'm telling you, I feel so much better. Now, there's this thing called the Schumann resonance. It's the hertz of the earth. We are aligned to that resonance. We're aligned to that energy, that frequency. And we've just gotten so wrapped up in this material world that we've forgotten what our true roots are. So take some time to do that. Carrie, I'm sure you could add to that.
Oh yeah, for certain.
Conversation.
We have a waterfall in our backyard, which is a pretty nice thing. But even like, you know, sitting here and having the sun come in on my face, like when you can't get outside, even that, or having houseplants right beside you, you know, it's nature as well. And you can connect in that way, even if you don't have an opportunity to always be out of doors. You know, there's other ways to connect for sure.
And one of those ways is actually in your imagination. So that's part of focus and intention. A lot of people have lost sight of their imagination, and it's an opportunity right now. Take naps, like lay down and start imagining, like what would it be if I were going to be outside? Where would I be? Would I be at a beach? Would I be in the mountains? Would I be at the mountains by a beach or a lake? Or maybe you prefer a meadow of tall wildflowers. Whatever that is, the mind is a very powerful thing. And that's what we've been trying to demonstrate to you, that all this power is within us. And the mind isn't just the brain, folks. It exists in every cell of our body. So start playing around. Have fun with this. This is supposed to be fun. This is your time to create. This is what we're doing for ourselves and letting it ripple out to all the people on the planet.
You know,
our global family.
I love that. Well, speaking of that, I think we've taken a good amount of time, and with that imagination and creating a new world for us to live in, I think you have a meditation that you can share with everyone that will help us do that.
Sure. Let me see if I can turn up my music. Pardon me, folks.
I think we lost you there.
Sorry, I know. I'm back looking for.
There you are.
Well, I guess I can't do that.
You know what? I'll find
I switched up my technology, and
okay.
I can't play my music while I'm zooming on my phone, so I could try to pull something up.
I'll find some music over here. And you, did you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, I think, did we cover all of our talking points?
I think so.
All right. I think gratitude is the biggest one. Gratitude and focus on what you want versus what you don't want. So.
All right. I think I might have something that might work. So give me one second to get it up and running.
Well, while she's doing that, why doesn't everybody just like uncross everything, unless you're sitting like a pretzel, as they would say in preschool, and settle into your chair. If you're laying down, just allow whatever is supporting your body and allow yourself to fully let go. Trust that the chair or the bed or the floor will fully support you. I want you to imagine from the top of your head, releasing any tension between your eyebrows. Just let that go. Unlocking your jaw, adjusting your neck, and fully allowing your shoulders to drop. Imagining this heavy wave of relaxation just oozing down from the top of your head, all the way down. All the way down to the tips of your toes. Imagine roots are growing out the bottoms of your feet and anchoring deep within the core of Mother Earth. Solidly planting you into the earth. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it at the top. And then exhale all your cares, worries, concerns right out. Another inhale through the nose. And exhale by letting go completely. One more time, inhale through the nose. And exhale into deeper and deeper relaxation. Pay attention to the rhythm of your breath. Be grateful that something within you breathes you. You don't even have to think about it. That something within you also beats your heart, thereby pumping your blood throughout your entire body. In your relaxed state, offer gratitude for all those things that happen within you unconsciously. Breathing, blood pumping, synapses firing, nerve endings communicating. We are magnificent beings. Let's appreciate who we are and what we're made of. Focusing in on the breath. I'd like you to imagine that you've just stepped onto a path. And this path is going out into a field of tall wildflowers. The sun is shining, warming your body as you walk along the path. This path is leading you to your favorite place in nature. Like we mentioned earlier, it could be a beach, a forest, perhaps a rock outcropping on a mountain. Or maybe it's a pond with a waterfall. Allow this path to take you to your favorite place in nature. When you've arrived, find a comfortable place to sit. Look around. What do you see? What sounds are present? Are the waves crashing or the frogs croaking or crickets or night birds? Are there any smells? Feel the atmosphere around you. Is it moist or dry? How does it feel? on your physicality. More importantly, how do you feel inside? Are you at peace? Does your special place bring you joy? Just notice all of these elements while you sit in the stillness of your favorite place. In the comfort of this special place, you could ask God, your angels, guides, ancestors, to help you to release anything that doesn't serve you. This is a very safe, comforting environment to do that. Do that now if you wish. If you're feeling a little bit lost or disoriented, you can ask for guidance for what you can do next. Very good. Thank any beings that are with you now for their assistance. And know that you can visit this place anytime you wish. Go ahead and stand up and turn back toward the path in the meadow of high flowers. Slowly walking back into a more aware state. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Becoming more aware of your breath. And allowing yourself to become aware of your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into the room. How was that for you, Carrie?
Good. Haven't been to that place in a while.
It's nice to visit from time to time.
Thanks for leading that, Shelly.
Sure. I have a couple of things I discovered while proofing my book today that I wanted to share. My prayer, especially to all I know and love, which now is my global family, is to face your shadow, reconcile with the truth, and heal the wounds within. When your shadow is permitted to see the light of day, the darkness fades in the light. Then relief and peace are its gifts. Healing begins, and all the messy bits that go with it. The other gift of life emerges as you focus on all the things of the light. And then I want to close with a prayer. I thank the ever-dwelling Christ within. I thank Creator God, who is pervasive within each of us. More and more of us are awakening to the God within. When we all wake up to this truth, our world will see the heaven we can collectively create on this earth. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Aho.
Namaste.
Namaste. Just to conclude, for those of you who are not familiar with Merging Hearts Spiritual Center, that we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and we do work solely on donation basis, or for the most part on donation basis. So if you like this presentation, you'd like to see more like this, you'd like to join Merging Hearts, there should be a link in the bottom that can lead you straight to our website, and you can check us out there. Please consider giving whatever you can give, and you can do that via the website. And thanks for joining us. Take care.
Bye.